A new year means a bunch of new movies, and a bunch of new movies means a bunch of sequels are coming out in the year 2026. So, I picked out 24 of the most major movie sequels coming out this year, and I'm gonna rank all 24 major movie sequels this year, ranked by my anticipation level. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I like to talk about a lot of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share your ranking of all of these movies based on your excitement level. And some of these we have better looks of because we've gotten trailers. Some of them come out sooner, so obviously this is just based on what we have seen at the beginning of the year, and so this list could fluctuate as the year progresses. But as of right now, these are the sequels this year that I'm going to rank on my anticipation. Share your ranking down below, click the like button, be sure to subscribe because that really does help a lot. Let's just get straight into this one. Easily in last place, The Strangers Chapter 3. Before I even made this list and I knew this movie was coming out, I already knew this was going to be in last place. I haven't even seen The Strangers Chapter 2, but I did see The Strangers Chapter 1 and it ended up being maybe the worst horror movie of that year. I don't remember if it was in my bottom 10, but it's just aged so poorly, and it was already really bad when I first watched it, and so I do not like that movie at all. I'm not even a big fan of this franchise. The only movie in this franchise that I've actually kind of liked is the second one, Prey at Night, and so that's a low blow for this franchise anyway. And then they did Chapter 2 last year that I didn't see, but everybody was saying it was absolutely horrible. When this movie comes out, I'm sure this will go down as one of the worst horror trilogies of all time. I could not care less for this one. Number 23, Focker-in-Law. This is the kind of legacy sequel to Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers, and I just don't really care that much. I'm not super duper familiar with Meet the Parents. It's a movie my dad watched that I have not seen, and so maybe that's sabotaging this one a little bit, but generally speaking, long-delayed comedy sequels don't really have the best track record, and they did well with Naked Gun last year. Actually, a movie coming up later on this list, I will mention Naked Gun from last year again, but I just don't really care. Even the little marketing they gave out that Ariana Grande was going to be in it, I simply just did not care, but maybe you guys care for it more than I do. Number 22, Insidious 6. This franchise simply just hasn't been good since the first movie, and so that's a really big problem because I really enjoy the first Insidious movie, and I simply don't feel like any of the movies have even become close to the first one, and I just don't think they were good movies in general. And the last one, The Red Door, which I thought was going to be a little bit of a return of form, Patrick Wilson coming in to direct, and the whole original gang back together, it just ended up being a complete mess. One of the worst movies of that year that it came out as well. And so they just need to stop making these Insidious movies because I have not enjoyed what they've put out since the original. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Much like Focker-in-Law, I could care. I just don't really care about this movie. What's interesting about this one is that the little teaser they put out for this one ended up being, I believe, one of the most viewed trailers of that year. So this movie certainly has its audience in this now franchise, but long-delayed films like this and Disney milking out these properties, it just doesn't really sound good to me. And also, I have not seen the original Devil Wears Prada. It doesn't seem like the type of movie I'd be interested in. Hopefully the movie could surprise me. Maybe I'll watch this one. Maybe I'll watch the first one. But as of right now, as of this moment that I'm shooting this video, I simply don't really care that much. Number 20, Mandalorian and Grogu, and this one's really frustrating for me to put in this placement because I love the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. They are some of the best Star Wars we've gotten under Disney's acquisition, and I loved it. I ate it up. I was very excited for season 3, and season 3 is very like our words can't even describe how bad season 3 is. And the trailer they put out for this one, that's a sequel to the Mandalorian show, just didn't feel like it had any warranty to be in theatrical form because the show itself is already cinematic. It just felt like another sort of lifeless Star Wars project that they're now putting in theaters and just kind of milking out this property. And maybe Jon Favreau is directing the film, and so maybe he can do something that's good with it, but I'd love for this film to surprise me, and I'd love to be excited for a new Star Wars movie, but Disney Star Wars simply has not been that good, and so I can't in good faith say I'm super excited for this one, unfortunately. Ready or Not 2. From here to number 16 are movies that I'll go in cautiously optimistic about. Much like even some of the movies higher on this list that have more going for them, but this little section here is like, you know, I'll cautiously go into it. I'll hope it's awesome, but I'm not quite seeing it there. When it comes to Ready or Not 2, I haven't even seen the trailer that they dropped for this movie at this moment, and so I'm just viewing it as Ready or Not 2. I just don't know if the first Ready or Not warrants itself to a sequel, where it's a movie basically about Samara Weaving getting married to this family, and then they try to kill her in this deadly game of hide and seek. It's a fun film. It's from the guys that went on to do Scream 5 and 6, and so I enjoyed that film. I enjoy Scream 5 and 6, and they're returning for this movie. So I am curious about this one, but I just don't know that horror movies like that come to a resolution warrant themselves for a sequel. We got Black Phone 2 last year. I wasn't really big on Black Phone 2 or Megan 2, and so, you know, these horror sequels that I just don't think they need to exist. I hope it's awesome because it is from the same crew, but I am very, very cautious about this one. Among those same lines, in a different genre, Social Reckoning. The Social Network is simply just one of the best movies that I've seen. I love that movie. It's so well crafted. Kind of like Oppenheimer is like the more popular movie now, so it's kind of like Oppenheimer in the way it is structured. The performances are amazing, and now we're getting a sequel to this year, directed by Aaron Sorkin, who's a very talented screenwriter. I don't know if he's writing this movie at the top of my head, but it's just that The Social Network is based on a true story. Mark Zuckerberg, it was a character study. It was such a well-done biopic. Like, this just feels like if you did a sequel to Oppenheimer to me. Hopefully it can win me over. There's so much talent in front of and behind the camera with this one, and so hopefully it could win me over. But, like, true story movies getting sequels, I just don't see it fully. Number 17, Toy Story 5. I grew up on the Toy Story franchise. I love the original trilogy of Andy films, and I even love Toy Story 4 as well. Like, that might be a hot take. I love all 4 Toy Story movies, and the 4th one, and even the 3rd one, came to a very satisfying conclusion that felt like we didn't need to go further. And then they did the 4th one, and they proved that, like, yeah, maybe you could tell more stories with here. But here, it feels like we're kind of just bringing in an iPad and having the toys trying to, like, stop this iPad so Bonnie could play with them. Just feels a little bit like a less interesting concept than what they went with the 4th film. And so I'll go in optimistic because 4 did prove all of us, not all of us, but some of us wrong that maybe a Toy Story 3 sequel was actually pretty good. Maybe a Toy Story 4 sequel will actually be pretty good, but, like, when you watch the trailer, you kind of just wonder, like, why the heck is Woody there? Like, that makes no sense in the context of this franchise. And so I hope it's not just a blatant, cash grab for Disney. Violent Night 2. I enjoy the original Violent Night film from, I believe, 2022, where it's about David Harbour playing Santa Claus, and a bunch of thieves start robbing a house, and Santa Claus murders all of them in brutal action movie fashion. That was just a fun novelty to see. I didn't love it like a lot of people did, but I did like the film. I need to be won over a little bit with this sequel, where if it's just kind of the same thing rehashed, but without kind of the heart of the first film, I'm not sure where it will land. Hopefully it can win me over once again, but I am kind of excited for it. But I would need to see more of like a synopsis on why we need to continue seeing Santa Claus brutally beat up a bunch of terrorists. Even though that was awesome in the first movie, I do admit. But, like, you know, another one that just kind of feels like a complete story and we don't need a sequel for. But hopefully it can win me over. Number 15, 28 Years Bone Temple. And to be fair, all these other movies, I can safely say that I am excited for. I am going to see them. And starting with 28 Years of Bone Temple, where I really enjoyed the first 28 Days Later. I actually liked 28 Weeks Later too, but I was not a fan of 28 Years Later. I know that's a hot take, but I wasn't a very big fan of that film, where I just thought there were some too many weird stylistic choices. It felt like by the end the journey was kind of unsatisfying, and the very end of it was just absolutely ridiculous, where we're in like Ninja Turtle Power Ranger mode at the end. So I did not care for 28 years later, unfortunately. I've been hearing some good things about this sequel. It comes out this Thursday, actually. It comes out this week, and so hopefully I see it. Hopefully I really enjoy it, because I've heard some good things about it, and, you know, hopefully it's a bit more of like a focused film than the first one, than 28 years later, because I just thought that was such a scattershot, unfocused film where, like, you know, the kid is supposed to take his mom to, like, this doctor in order to find, like, out if she's sick, and then he's just like, oh, she's sick. And then she just kind of, like, kills herself. Not really a satisfying journey for me. Like, it felt kind of pointless. And so, hopefully this one could be good. And I do like the trailers that they've dropped for this one, so I'm excited for this one. Number 14, Scream 7. I don't know if this movie is even going to be good, or even nearly as good as Scream 5 and 6, because those movies have this viciousness to them. That's what I love about these new Scream movies, is that they have this sort of viciousness to them that they were lacking in the old ones. And so, with this one, it's the subject of a bunch of behind-the-scenes controversy, actresses saying stuff, getting fired, directors, writers being taken out, put back in. So, very cautious about this. But the trailer they dropped overall worked for me. It's just, if you could provide the classic Scream experience of seeing people getting murdered and then having this ongoing mystery, Neve Campbell's returning, and so if you could just have that classic Scream experience, it doesn't have to be amazing or anything like that, but I am excited for another one of these experiences. 13, Evil Dead Burn. I don't even know a lot about this movie. Actually, I know little to nothing about this movie. I don't know who's directing it. I don't know who's in it. I just know it's the new Evil Dead film, and Evil Dead Rise was a fun time in the theater watching that film, where it's just an actual bloodfest all throughout. If this movie could do that again, I will be pleased, because, like, that's just what I enjoyed about Evil Dead Rise. So I don't even know a lot about this movie to be able to place it higher up on the list. But we're getting a new Evil Dead movie. It safely makes it into the excited category. Return to Silent Hill. This is another movie coming out later this month. It is based on one of the most beloved video games of all time, Silent Hill 2. And the director of the first Silent Hill movie, which is actually not even a bad movie, like, I enjoy that movie quite a bit, is coming back to do this one. And so, hopefully, adapting one of the best video games of all time. I haven't played the game. I've heard great things about it. I want to play it, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm not a big, huge gamer. But the games I have played, I really enjoy. But getting a little bit off topic here, I haven't even seen the trailer for this one. I don't plan on watching the trailer for this one, but, you know, a guy that directed the first Silent Hill movie is coming to direct one of the greatest video games of all time into a movie. I hope it's awesome, and that's simply why it's up here on this list. Number 11, Minions 3. I'm sure you guys are not going to have this movie as high up as I am, but, you know, the Minions movies, the Despicable Me movies, I have a great deal of nostalgia for. I actually just rewatched the first two movies, like, last week, and I just love these movies for, they're not necessarily great movies, but for the nostalgia, like revisiting my childhood, I love it, and I love seeing these movies in the theater also. Like, I saw Rise of Gru in the theater, I really liked it. Despicable Me 4 was really, really bad, but overall I did enjoy the experience of seeing Despicable Me 4 in the packed theater, so I'm excited to see Minions 3, simply for the nostalgia that I have for this franchise. Number 10, Mortal Kombat 2, another video game movie on this list, where here it's a sequel to the 2021 Mortal Kombat, which I didn't think was all that great. I thought it was good. It provided a bunch of R-rated Mortal Kombat carnage, but it didn't really live up to what an R-rated Mortal Kombat movie should and could have been. Here we're actually focusing in on the tournament. We're bringing in Johnny Cage, played by Carl Urban, and the trailer looked pretty good to me. Warner Brothers seems to have some faith in this movie because they did delay the film from like October or whenever it was supposed to release up to May in the summer, so they think it stands a chance against these summer blockbusters. That shows they have faith in this movie, so I am excited for this one. Another video game movie, number 9, Angry Birds 3. And much like the Minion franchise, I have a great deal of nostalgia for the Angry Birds movie franchise. I grew up playing the game on, not my phone because I didn't have a phone at the time, but my dad's phone mostly. And so I have a nostalgia for the game. I watched both of the other two movies in the theater when they first came out. I don't think either of them are great. I like the second one more than the first one, but I do think both of them have their charms to them, and that I have nostalgia for them every time I re-explore the films. We're getting a third movie. I don't know why it took so long, but we're getting a third movie in the Angry Birds franchise, and so if it could just provide some dumb laughs and charm, I'm all for it. Not saying that this is going to be in like the best movies of the year by the end of the year or anything like that, but simply, it's just like I have nostalgia for the franchise, and so naturally, I'm excited to see what it does next. Number 8, Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Another one that I have not seen the trailer for. Very hot take. I really, really dug Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I dug that one a lot. It might still be my favorite of the franchise. I just really, really enjoyed what they did with that one. And I know that's a hot take, but I'm a newcomer to this franchise. I've only watched through them for the first time when the new one came out, and I loved going through them because those movies are actually really good and much better than I thought they were going to be. And so we're getting a sequel to that one. I hope the crew knows what they're doing. Ray Fiennes is being brought in as Snow. I haven't seen the trailer once again. I do know, however, fun fact, that Moist Critical Penguin Z0 himself auditioned for this movie, and of course, we can't forget him as District 8 hospital helper, the glue that tied the Hunger Games franchise together. He might potentially be returning in Hunger Games 5. So not only is Ray Fiennes Slow, not only is it a sequel to Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but Moist Critical might also potentially be in this movie, reprising his role as the best character in the franchise, District 8 hospital helper. Number 7, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. It's a new Spider-Man movie. I'm always excited for it. I said in my most anticipated list because this is the era where we get into the ones I actually did put in my top 15 most anticipated of the year. This one I am excited for, with cautions. I don't know if they're bringing in the Hulk, they're bringing in the Punisher. I don't know how all of that entirely works, but, Tom Holland's always fun in the role. It looks like they actually are trying to go street-level Spider-Man and do it practically. I don't know how well or how dynamic it will look on the big screen, but from what I've been seeing, the suit reveal and the behind-the-scenes footage that I've seen, they actually look like they're committed to making it a street-level Spider-Man movie, which is what I'm the most excited for. Adding to that, Scorpion is being brought into the mix by Nacho from Better Call Saul. And so a bunch of these elements that do make me really excited, whereas a bunch of these other elements in it with the Hulk, the Punisher, bringing them into the mix, I don't know if that fully makes me excited for this film. But, of course, it's a new Spider-Man movie, so I am excited. 6, Jumanji 4. And once again, I just have nostalgia for the other two Jumanji movies in this new revival era of films. I love Welcome to the Jungle. I love The Next Level. And I watched those movies in the theater, both of them. And I just love them today. And I loved them back then. And so once again, another one where like The Next Level made like $800 million. I don't know why it took them so long to finally make a sequel. But it turns out this is probably going to be the final one, is what they say. And so hopefully they can close out the Jumanji franchise in a heartfelt note, because the other two movies, what I really enjoyed about them was that they had a heart to them. They were not only just fun comedies, fun adventure movies, and fun spins on Jumanji. They had this heart to them, and the great funny dynamic between the characters just worked so well in those movies. And so, of course, I am very excited for Jumanji 4. Number 5, Scary Movie 6. There is a more than 50% chance that this movie could go absolutely horribly wrong. I am fully aware of that. The Scary Movie franchise has not had a good record. I haven't even seen most of the films in this franchise, but from what I hear, they get pretty awful, and among the same lines as all these other movie franchises like disaster movie, epic movie, superhero movie. They get along the lines of those really bad spoof comedies. However, the Naked Gun reboot, which I did talk about earlier, or the Naked Gun Legacy sequel reboot-ish, whatever you want to call that, I loved that movie. That movie ended up in my top 10 of the year. And so, with this one, it's called Scary Movie 6, but it says it's a reboot, and they're bringing back the people from the original film, which I really do think that original Scary Movie is pretty funny. And so, hopefully, they conjure up something that actually makes people laugh. There is a high chance this could go horribly wrong once again. But am I curious to see what this looks like? Yes, I am, because the new Naked Gun movie did get me excited for spoof comedies. Thus, it makes it here. Number 4, Avengers Doomsday. This is going to be a lot of people's number 1 on the list. I am very aware of that. We just got our Fantastic Four trailer today, actually, because I just filmed that reaction right before doing this video. And, you know, it's a new Avengers movie. I grew up watching the MCU. Of course, I'm excited for this one. I'm not as excited as I would like to be, simply because I'm very skeptical. The quality control of the MCU movies over the past 2 phases have been pretty out of control. They're not as consistently good as they used to be, and they look like they're just cramming in new characters that we're never actually going to see again. They did this little marketing campaign, releasing a bunch of trailers. The X-Men trailer, easily the best one, where that actually did get me excited looking forward to see what this all looks like. And that's just kind of been my anticipation. Like, what does all this look like? What does the X-Men coming back look like? What does merging in all these new characters actually look like on the big screen? I don't know that it's going to be good. I hope it's awesome, because all the fans are hoping that this movie is going to be awesome. Much like Spider-Man, I have some precautions, but ultimately, of course, I'm excited for Avengers Doomsday. I'm going to see it opening night, obviously. Number 3, Dune 3. This is coming out the same day as Avengers, actually. And I don't know if I need to explain much here. Denis Villeneuve has just revitalized the Dune movies in a way that I think has made it more popular. And people love these movies. Even some of my friends at school absolutely love the previous 2 Dune movies, myself included. I think they're very good sci-fi movies, some of the best we've gotten in these past few years. And so him coming back to do another Dune movie sounds awesome. And this one potentially being the conclusion to the Dune trilogy, that all sounds completely awesome. I have no doubt that this is going to be one of the best movies of the year. No doubt in my mind at all. I trust Denis with the Dune franchise. Number 2, Godzilla -0. Do I even need to explain myself here? If you didn't watch Godzilla -1 from 2023, go do that. Watch that right now. Do some homework, because that movie is absolutely awesome. Same crew is returning to do this movie. When I saw that movie, I was just absolutely blown away by what they were able to do there. With $15 million, they made a compelling story with humans while also having Godzilla be this menacing antagonist. Love that movie. Very excited for this one. I don't even need to explain here. But number 1, and this might shock some people, I'm going to go with the Mario Galaxy. I think we all grew up playing the Mario games. This genuinely might, this is absolutely not going to be in the top 10 of the year or anything like that. I'd be shocked if it is. It'd be awesome if it is. But it most likely isn't, because it is an Illumination film. But I really enjoyed my time with that first Mario movie. Them expanding it to Galaxy just sounds like the natural next step for me. It's going to please so many fans. But most importantly, why is this actually number 1 on this list? It's because a bunch of my friends at school are one of them in particular, complete Nintendo fanatics, and have just themed themselves to Mario. And so I definitely plan on seeing this movie with my friends for sure. I hope they have a lot of fun with it. I hope I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. The trailer was funny and gave the good Mario Galaxy vibes, like it was taking everything to the next level. So I am very, very excited for this movie. But most importantly, I'm very excited to see this movie with my friends. Thus, while this might not become the best movie of the year by the end of the year, it is my most anticipated sequel that comes out in the year 2026. there you have it. That's my list. Down below in the comment section, share your ranking of these movies based on your excitement level over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.